What happens when the heavens finally speak, but the human soul is too shaken to endure the sound? We often hear about the revelation, but we rarely discuss the silent strength that anchored the messenger of Allah in his darkest hour of doubt. Witness the unwavering resolve of a wife who draped the prophet in a mantle of absolute certainty when he needed it most. It was the era of ignorance, Jahiliyyah. The streets of Mecca were filled with idols, hearts were shrouded in darkness, and souls were buried beneath layers of heedlessness. Yet there was one man who stood apart from the crowd, Muhammad. His noble character was known throughout Mecca, and the people called him Al-Sadiq al-Amin, the truthful, the trustworthy. He would often retreat far from the noise of the city, sitting alone in the Cave of Hira, lost in deep contemplation for hours, sometimes days. Who created this universe? What is the purpose of human existence? These idols are nothing but carved stone. How can they be gods? These questions stirred endlessly within his heart. Then came that day, the month of Ramadan, in the dark silence of Cave Hira. Suddenly, there was a terrifying presence. A voice thundered. Iqra read. The prophet trembled. He said, I am not one who reads. Then that presence, the trustworthy Jibreel, embraced him with such force that he could barely breathe, then released him. This happened 3 times. And then those words descended, words that would become a light for humanity until the end of time. Read in the name of your Lord who created. When the moment ended, the prophet emerged from the cave, but he was not the same man who had entered moments before. His entire being was trembling. His heart was racing. As he descended the mountain slope, there was only one thought: reach home. Reach Khadijah. When he entered the house, the marks of fear were clearly visible on his face. His voice was shaking. He said, Zamaluni, Zamaluni, cover me, cover me. Khadijah immediately wrapped him in a cloak. No questions, no panic. First comfort, then conversation. When the trembling had somewhat subsided, the prophet narrated the entire incident. And then he spoke the words that revealed his innermost state. I fear for my life. Any other woman might have panicked upon hearing this. But Khadijah? She stood firm as a mountain. She spoke, and these words were forever preserved in the heart of history. Never. By Allah, Allah will never humiliate you. Then Khadijah spoke words that could be the greatest comfort any husband could ever receive. She painted a picture of his entire life, with evidence and with love. You maintain ties of kinship. You carry the burdens of the weak. You honor your guests. You help those in distress. A person who does all this, Allah never lets such a person be lost. These were not merely words of consolation. They were a profound insight. Khadijah had understood that for the one who had spent his entire life in goodness, only mercy would descend upon him, never punishment. Khadijah took the prophet to her cousin Waraka ibn Nawfal, a wise elder versed in the scriptures of the people of the book. When the prophet narrated the incident, Waraka's eyes lit up. He said, This is the same angel who descended upon Musa, this was Jibreel. Waraka then said that his people would deny him, exile him, and wage war against him. Yet he also affirmed this has happened with every prophet before him. This is a sign of prophethood, not of weakness. That night at Cave Hira passed, but the lesson of that night lives on forever. When the greatest burden in history descended upon human shoulders, Allah first sent a woman. A woman who did not panic, did not hesitate, did not fall into doubt. Instead, she immediately became a cloak of certainty. Khadijah proved that faith is not only the name of worship, faith is also this: when your beloved is breaking apart, you become their rock. She was the first Muslim, and perhaps because her heart was already prepared to receive that divine light. Peace and blessings upon al-Mu'mineen, Khadijah bint Khuwaylid, whose certainty illuminated the very first dawn of prophethood. Rose.